I graduated on Friday night. I went to work for Guy Talent down there on Saturday morning. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You was always on call, made $15 a week. That was my starting salary. He said, I'm going to see how you're going to do, whether you're going to do this or not. I said, well, okay. So I passed the test, and the next fall, he raised me up to $150 a month.
So what were you doing at the funeral home?
Everything. And see, we had ambulance service back then.
Yeah.
We had ambulance service. We had ambulance service. We had, of course, funerals. I just did. Now, I didn't embalm anybody. I helped with it. I helped with it, but you have to be licensed to do that, you see.
So how did they decide on the ambulance service? Like if there was a wreck somewhere, how did they decide which funeral home they would call to?
I really don't know that. We had one telephone line, and if it wasn't busy, if you needed an ambulance, if somebody wasn't talking on it, well, they'd tell you where to go. You know, they got a wreck or somebody was sick or something like that, you know. And if they was something like that, we had absolutely no training. We did have some towels, and I think we had a first aid kit, and that's all we had. And we'd haul, back then, if a woman had a baby, she stayed in bed for 2 weeks. Stayed in bed for 2 weeks before she ever got up. We would haul new mothers home with their new baby.
Okay.
You know.
What about that?
We'd haul them home and put them in bed.
Yeah.
They couldn't get up, wasn't supposed to get up. See, that was the way that was back then. That would have been in 1953, 54, 55, along in there, you know.
And there were other people who worked at the funeral home that became friends.
Oh yeah, yeah. We had some part-time help. We had, of course, Glenn Click, and Glenn's brother, J.D. Click, helped us some, and Frank Johnson was a permanent employee there.
Okay.
Frank Johnson, and myself was the 3 main employees. And then we had some outside help, outside boys that would help us, you know, as we needed. You know, we'd have to go to the cemetery and put up a tent.
Yeah.
We'd have to do all of that and then go back and take it down and all of that, you know.
Now, was Guy Talent, he was the owner?
He was the owner.
When was he elected mayor? Did he do both at the same time?
Yeah.
So he had the funeral home and he was mayor.
It seemed like he was elected mayor around 54 or 55.
Okay.
Along in the mid 50s.
So how long was Glenn there before he went and started his own?
Glenn went to work for a guy when he got out of mortuary school. He went to work there.
Okay. And he came up here from Cleveland?
Athens.
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 Okay.
His family was from Athens.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so as the time goes by in 1957, you decided to take on a new career, a new old career, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I did. Of course, I'd always wanted to go back in my family business, see. And I got the opportunity to do it, and so I went back into our family business and left the funeral business.
Right.
There was a lot of good members in the funeral business, a lot of bad ones too. A lot of bad ones.
And Lenore City had 3 funeral homes at that time.
No,
correct?
no.
How many?
No, we had Hawkins, Hawkins and Talent.
Hawkins and Talent, and then Click when they
Well,
started.
now Click after Guy retired. Okay, he retired, and he sold part of it to Click, and he sold some to Cecil Carnes. Carnes was
Okay.
in
Wow.
Loudon.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't work.
Okay.
That didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
So Click went out on his own and went over to the corner of Broadway and Walnut Street. There's a house there on the corner. It's a flower shop now.
Okay.
It's a flower shop
Yeah.
right now. That's where he had his first funeral home,
Mm-hmm.
right there. And then later years he got to school, the old East Side School, you know, and that's where he's been ever since.
Is that right? That was a school. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, that was school. That was East Side School.
Okay.
The kids on East Side went there through the 4th or 5th grade, and then they went on to Nichols from there. See.
Now,
Yeah,
tell me about your car business. It was already established.
It was
Correct?
already established, yeah.
Had your dad passed away, or did you just take over? Or
My dad had passed away then. My dad
Okay.
passed away in 1952, and his partner that was in there was Ralph Hall. He was a nephew.
Okay.
My dad was his uncle. And so I went in there too, and my mother she still had an interest in the business. And we were over on in Lanham's furniture store. That's where we were at the time. And we were there. And then in 1969, we built that building that's there on the corner. Of course, the building's there now. It's a tire store, but it's on the corner of right straight across the street from Click's first funeral home.
Okay. Okay.
Right there, it's a metal building there with a lot. We had the lot, and that was in 1969.
Okay.
So we was there until
98.
till 98.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what was the most rewarding part about the car sales business?
The car business.
Yeah.
Well, of course, back then I was younger, and it was fun.
Yeah, because you were in it 40 plus years.
Yeah, it was fun, and you enjoyed the people. Most of them.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them you did, but most of them you did. And that part was good. And we had, of course, you had good times and bad times, like you do in any business,
Sure.
you know. But all in all, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it until I got to, well, I tell you when I started going down. I had a son to get killed in 1998. 1988.
Okay.
1988. I didn't want to see anybody, you know. And I just kept going through life, decided I've had enough.
Yeah.
And
So did you sell the business or just close it?
yeah, I sold it too. Well, at that time it was Tilly down here.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
It was, at that time it was him we sold it to.
Ron Tilley.
Yeah, he don't own it now.
Right.
Some big conglomerate on. That's what happens now, you know. They get bigger and fewer. See?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Now, there's not one here in Loudon County.
No Chevrolet.
There's
dealer.
not a Chevrolet dealer in Loudon County.
Yeah.
That's just the difference, you know.
I guess the only place they do sell cars in Loudon County, new cars, would be in Lenore City.
Yeah, Loudon don't have
Mm-mm.
Loudon don't have a new car dealer.
All right. Who was your greatest influence on your life growing up, and as life you have lived your life? Who had the greatest impact on your life?
Well, I guess it would probably be my mother.
Okay. Why is that?
Well, seemed like she knew all the answers, you know.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm sure she didn't, but she was a great influence to me. and Guy Talent was.
Okay.
He was a good influence to me. He really was. And I guess, you know, there's probably somebody else that right now I can't think of.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess that would be the two.
Yeah. Good. Let's go back, because I forgot to. We talked about this off camera, and it's a fun story. But some of your friends in Lenore City knew you as Bring the Ice. Tell the story about the salty dog.
Well, the salty dog, of course, the salt. I don't remember the exact ingredients in it, but it was gin. It was gin, and it seemed like there was a little vermouth went in it, and some lemons, and put some salt in it, stir it all up good, put ice in it. Boy, it's good. I mean, it was real good, but then you had to have the ice. Mm-hmm. So I run into my gang one night, and they had a salty dog mixed up. Said, hey, we got salty dog. We need some ice. And I said, I'll go get the ice. Well, the ice was about probably 10, 15 cents a bag or something like that, you know. I'll get the ice. Well, boy, you sure are generous, you know. So anyway, I went and got a big bag of ice, and that's where that stuck. And every time I'd see him, if you got the ice, you bring in the ice.
And these were friends who also had stores around Lenore City.
Yeah, some of them did. Yeah, some of them did.
They just hung out around.
Yeah. But I had the ice.
Yeah, the ice.
Freddie Nelson's come out of church over there, but back when I was going to Trinity, and I'd be out on the car lot, and he'd be coming on. He said, hey, you got the ice? He said, loud.
We'll end it with two more questions here. And the first one is, what are you most proud of in your life?
My family.
And why is that?
Well, my family basically has been a good family. And I've had some ups and downs too. Mm-hmm. But basically, my family has been real good, and I guess I'm more proud of them than anything. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't feel like I've been successful in any way. I don't feel like that. I was, of course, I was director in the First National Bank for 25 years. See, and of course, I felt honored to be that, of course. But I still think my family is my best.
Sure.
I think so.
Now, the bank, what did you do with the bank again?
Well, I was just on the board.
Okay.
I went on the board in 1990.
Uh-huh.
And, of course, then we sold it in 2015. I was only 25 years.
And that was First National Bank?
First National.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, United Community bought it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which that was the first bank in Loudon County.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Yeah, First National opened up in 1906. Same year that Lenore City was incorporated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you want your legacy to be?
Well, I don't know. I really don't know. I just hope that people would think that I had tried to be a good person. I'd try to help people that needed it. And I guess would be, what do you think, Marge?
Been a friend.
Been a friend. And that would be about all. I don't want to be I guess that'd just be it.
Well, it sounds like you've had a good life.
Well, I have. Mm-hmm. The good Lord's been good to me. Mm-hmm. He has. A lot better than I deserve.
It's all of us.
He has. And I'm fortunate to still be here. And I am.
Could I ask you how old you are now?
So do I?
How old are you now?
87.
87.
I'm 87. I'll be 88 in April.
Okay.
Be 88 in April. And, but, like I say, the good Lord been good to me. He has. And Charlotte and I, of course Marge knows about Charlotte, and I had a good life, Darrell. We did. We had a good life. We would, today is our wedding anniversary. We'd been married 62 years today.
What about that?
62 years, yeah. But we had a good life. We, of course, had our problems like everybody else does.
Sure.
You know, we all do.
Yeah.
But,
Well, I want to thank you so much for sitting down with me and
well,
talking and sharing your memories.